Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are just joining, thanks for joining, and if you are a returning subscriber, thanks for sticking with us. So for today's tutorial, we're going to be making this shirt you saw earlier in the video, and for that I'm going to be working with my yarn. I'm going to be working a tape rule, a 4.5 millimeter hook, and then my scissors. So for the chest measurement, I'm actually making this for a guy, and I'm going to be working for 44 inches and a length of 25 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide that 44 divided by 2. I decided to get this book to explain, so I'm working with a chest measurement of 44 inches, and we need 3 panels. We need the back panel and we need 2 front panel. So 44 divided by 2, we have 22 inches. So now this first 22 inches is going to be for the back panel, while the remaining 22 inches is going to be divided by 2, because the front panel is 2 different panels, and there we have 11 inches. So the back panel is going to be 22 inches, and then front panel, where we have 2 panels, is going to be 11 inches each, which is going to be 22 inches. So now let's start with the back panel, and I'm going to make a chain of 22 inches, and I'll meet you back once I'm done with my chain of 22. So guys, I've gotten my 22 inches, and in total I have a total of 90 chains. Started to work with chains, so I will know the amount of chains I'll be doing for each of the front panels. So I have 90 chains, and then this is a total of 22 inches. So now for the next 4 rows, we are going to be working with single crochet. So we're going to work single crochets into the next 4 rows, and I will meet you at the end of our 4th row. So just work 1 single crochet into every stitch for the next 4 rows, and I will meet you at the end of our 4th row. So guys, I'm actually done with my 4 rows of single crochet, and let's count. We have 1 2 3 4, and then for the next row I'm just going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch. So to start a new row, I chain up 2, turn my work, and then work 1 double crochet into every stitch till I'm done with the end of this row. So follow up with 1 double crochet into every stitch till you finish up this row, and I will meet you at the end of the row, just like that. So guys, I'm done with my 1 row of 1 double crochet into every stitch, and in total now we have 5 rows. This is 1 2 3 4 5. So for the next row, this next row is going to be a row of merged stitches, and what you want to do is you want to chain 5 here. 1 2 3 4 5. So after chaining 5, turn your work, then skip the first stitch and go into the second stitch. So you're going to skip this stitch and go into the next with a double crochet, just like that, and then chain up 1, yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the next with a double crochet. So basically this is the pattern. You chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next stitch with a double crochet, and then this is what we're having. So we're going to follow up with these merged stitches till we get to the end of the row, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So guys, I'm done with the merged rows, and then this is what we have so far. So for the next row is going to be a row of double crochet. So what we want to do is we want to chain up 2, 1 2, turn our work just like this, and then yarn over. So into this merged stitch here, we're going to be making 2 double crochets into, sorry about the noise. So into this merged stitch here, I'm going to be making 2 double crochet into that stitch, not stitch, sorry, into this merge hole, 2 double crochet into the merge hole. So yarn over, go into that merge hole, make 2 double crochet, yarn over, go into the next merge hole, and then make 2 double crochet, yarn over, go into the next merge hole and make another 2 double crochet. So basically the pattern for this outfit is 1 row of merged stitches, 1 row of double crochet, 1 row of merged stitches, one row of double crochet. So let me show you guys one more time. Yarn over, go into the mesh hole and make 2 double crochet there, and just follow up with this pattern till you get to the end of the row, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. So guys, I'm done with my rows of double crochet. So the next row is going to be rows of mesh stitches. So chain up 5 like I told you before. 1 2 3 4 5. Turn your work just like this. Yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next stitch with a double crochet, then chain up 1. So mind you, only chain 5 at the beginning of the row, while for the rest of the stitches we chain up 1. So chain 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet. So this is what we're going to do till we are done with this row, and then I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm going to show, I've already showed you the first mesh rows and I'm showing you the second one. So I'm going to show you, I've showed you the first double crochet rows, I'm going to show you the second one, then I'll work the rest of camera. Like I told you before, I'm working with a length of 25 inches. So the after showing you the rows of double crochet, I'm going to be working the rest of camera, because you're just going to follow up with the pattern till you get your desired length. So I'm done with my second rows of mesh stitches, and then for my second row of double crochet I'm going to chain up 2, 1 2, turn your work just like this, yarn over into this mesh hole, make 2 double crochet into that, 1 2, yarn over into the next mesh hole, make 2 double crochet as well, 1 2, and then yarn over into the next, make 2 double crochets. So we're going to be making 2 double crochets into the mesh stitches, and then this is just going to be repetition till we get our desired length. If you make 1 row of mesh stitches, the next row will be 1 row of double crochet, and mind you, your double crochets, it has to be 2 DCs into the mesh holes, not 1 DC, so that way you don't end up decreasing. So I'm going to be doing the rest off camera, and for now I'm just going to measure so I'll know the particular inches I'm on, and once I get to my desired length, which is 25 inches, I'll come back to show you guys. So currently, let's check. Currently I'm on 4 inches, meaning I have 21 more inches to go, and then I'll meet you guys once I have my 25 inches. So guys, I'm done with the back panel and I have a total of 25 inches. So I'm done with this, and then I went on to make the first front panel. So I'll be showing you guys how to make the second front panel. So I already made one of the front panel, so we have one more to go. So I'll teach you guys how to make that. So now I'm going to grab my yarn, and do not forget, I told you I made a total of 90 chains at the beginning, which resulted into 20 which resulted into 22 inches. So now we need 11 inches each. I made 45 chains there. 90 divided by 2, you have 45 chains, so we need 45 chains each for the front panel. So I made 45 chains for the first front panel, and that was 11 inches. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a total of 45 chains. If you do not work with chains, you can just make the half of the front panel, depending on the amount of inches you are working with. You can just make the 11 inches instead of counting chains, but most time for accuracy I love to count chains, and then I'll still use my tape rule to measure. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to make a total of 45 chains, then I'll come back to show you guys. So guys, I already made my 45 chains, and then this is it. I have a total of 11 inches. So just like what we did at the beginning, we're going to be making single crochets into every stitch for the next 4 rows, just like what we did before. Single crochets into every stitch for the next 4 rows, and I'll meet you at the end of the 4th row. So guys, I'm done with my 4 rows of single crochets, and let's count. We have 1 2 3 4. For the next row now, what you want to do is you want to chain up two, 1 2, turn your work, yarn over, go into the very first stitch with a double crochet. And for the rest of the stitches, we're just going to be working one double crochet into every stitch, just like what we did at the beginning of the back panel. So you're going to work one double crochet into every stitch for this row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm done with the one row of double crochets, and I'm about to start the mesh stitches. So chain up 5 at the beginning, 1 2 3 4 5, turn your work, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Then moving forward, chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet. So just follow up with this pattern, just like what we did at the beginning of the back panel, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm at the end of the row, and then this is what my work is looking like so far. So like I explained earlier before in the video, I told you it's going to be one mesh row, one DC row, one mesh row, one roll of DC, one mesh row, one roll of DC. So just to re-explain or recap, I'm going to repeat this. So chain up 2, 1 2, turn your work, yarn over, go into this mesh hole with 2 double crochets. That is 1 into the same hole with another double crochet, and then yarn over into the next mesh hole with 2 double crochet, yarn over into the next mesh hole with 2 double crochet. So this is just the pattern. Wherever you have one mesh row, the next is going to be one roll of DC. After one roll of DC, the next one is going to be one mesh row. So I'm just going to finish this row and show you guys 2 more times, and I'll work the rest off camera. I'm done with my DC row, and for the next row is going to be a roll of mesh stitches. So chain up 5, 1 2 3 4 5, turn your work, yarn over, skip the first stitch into the next, make a double crochet, then chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch into the next, a double crochet, chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch into the next stitch, a double crochet. So follow up with the pattern, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I'm done with my second mesh row, and the next row is going to be rows of DC. So chain up 2, 1 2, turn your work, yarn over into this mesh hole, make 2 DC there. This is 1, yarn over into the same thing, make another DC, yarn over into the next mesh hole, 2 DC. So we're just going to follow up with this pattern. Whenever you have a row of mesh stitches, the next row will be rows of DC, the next will be rows of mesh stitches, rows of DC. So you're just going to be repeating that. So currently I'm going to measure the inches I have. Do not forget, I told you I'm working with a length of 25 inches. I'm working with a length of 25 inches. So I'm going to be working the rest of camera, and I'll meet you guys once I have 25 inches. So you're just going to repeat this pattern till you get to your desired length. And currently I am on 4 inches. I'm on 4 inches. So I'll meet you guys when I have 25 inches, meaning I have 21 more inches to go. So guys, I'm done with all 3 panels, and then this is what I'm having so far. So what I did was I went on to thread my needle with my yarn, and because I'm about to sew all panels together. So firstly, what you want to do is you want to get your back panel. This is the back panel, and you want to turn it to the wrong side because you're going to be sewing on the wrong side. And as you can see, I have all this loose end there, so obviously this is my wrong side. You want your right side to be facing you while your wrong side is here. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you want to place your work like this. This is where my collar of my shirt is going to start, because obviously this is the tip of the shirt. So now you want to get the second panel off. the front, and then you want to align it with the wrong side. So obviously this is my wrong side. My wrong side is going to face like this. If you notice the way I align it, the right side and the right side is facing each other. This is the right side, this is the right side. The wrong side is on top here, the wrong side is on the other end there. So just like this. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this one too. Both right side are facing each other. Let me if you can see it. Both right side are facing each other, just like this. Can you see it? So now what I want to do is I want to get my stitch marker to be able to attach it, then I will sew it down. So I'll get my stitch marker here, I'll just place it inside here, then shift this a bit, get another stitch marker, and then place it inside here. And so I'm going to do that for the other side too. These two ends here, get my stitch marker, place it here. Okay, make sure you place both together, and get another stitch marker, then place this. Make sure you align it right to know where it's supposed to stop. So it's supposed to stop here, just like that. I've placed my stitch marker on everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sew from here to here. I'll cut off my yarn. Show you. I'm going to sew from here to here. I'll cut off my yarn. Then I'm going to sew from here to here. I don't know if you can see it, from here to here, and then I'll cut off my yarn. So this is how the work should look like if you are done sewing. But first off, let me sew this off camera and I'll come back to show you. Do not forget you are sewing with this. So guys, I'm done sewing the neckline side, and now what I want to do is I want to take out the side for the sleeve. Now his armhole, it's actually 20 inches, so it's going to be from here to here 10, then the other back will be 10. So first off, I want to measure 10 inches. So you measure from, I don't know if you can see, measure from here, and this is 10 inches here. So you want to put your stitch marker where your 10 inches stop. This is where my 10 inches stop. So this is it. Okay, this is 9.5. So I think it shifted a bit, so it's not accurate. So now I want to measure. I don't know why this thing keeps shifting. Then this is 10 inches here. So you can insert your stitch marker where your 10 inches stops, and then you want to reconfirm it just to be sure. So 10 inches. Now you want to do the same thing on this other end. You want to mark out your 10 inches on this end too, just like this, and then get your stitch marker. So let us mark this. Now we have here, and then this is your 10 inches here. Where is the stitch marker? 10 inches is here, and then you just want to align it. And so we've calculated where we want our sleeve to be, and this is why they know for my clients. So depending on the measurement you are working with, just do whatever you have. Now what we want to do is we're going to be sewing. So now we want to sew it. We want to start sewing from after this stitch marker down to the end of the shirt. So you're going to sew from the end here to this end, and you're also going to mark the other side depending on the sleeve length you are working with, the armhole. Okay, I don't know, this didn't stay well. Okay, so you're also going to sew from after your stitch marker moving downward. So I'm going to sew this off camera, and then so I'm done sewing, and then this is the right side, this is the wrong side here. So I'm done sewing both sides, and this is what the outfit is looking like. And then the other side, don't know if you can see this completely. So now what I want to do is I want to start where I'm going to put the button. I don't know what it's called, I just want to make like maybe like 2 rows where I'm going to put the button. So you can either insert your hook from down here, or you can start from up and then just walk down. So what I want to do is I want to insert my hook here, and I'm going to make 2 rows of half double crochet, then 2 rows of half double crochet there before I come and start with my polo. So let me get my yarn and I'll meet you guys back. So I've gotten my yarn and I just want to make a slip knot just like this. Insert it here and then chain up 2. So we have 1, 2. So inside this mesh stitches I'm going to be making 2 double crochets there, while inside the double crochet stitch I'm going to be making 1 half double crochet. So we're working with half DC. So inside this mesh stitches we're going to be making 2 half double crochet. So yarn over, inside there we have 1, and then inside there we have 2. So into the next we'll just yarn over, it to be 1, and then inside the next is going to be 2, going to be 2, and then inside the next stitch is going to be 1. So I'm just going to repeat this, and then this is what your work is looking like. So I'm going to repeat this for 2 rows, and I'll meet you once I'm done with my 2 rows on both ends. So guys, I'm at the end of the row, and I just had to come and show you how I usually end the row, the way I ended the first row. So what I want to do is I just slip stitch inside this mesh hole we started with before. I slip stitch just like this, and then I'll just cut off my yarn and seal it up just like that. So I'll trim this off later on, and let me show you what it looks like. So this is where the buttons are going to be placed. I call it the tip of the shirt. I don't really know a particular name for it. Then this is the other side. So now we're about to start the polo area, and for the polo I like my polo to be 15 inches. I like it to be 15 inches long. So what we're going to do first is we're going to measure. This is the back here, this is the remaining end we have here. So we want to measure this first and then check how many inches we have there. So we have 2.5 inches and we need 15 inches. So now we're going to remove 2.5 inches minus 15 inches, and how many inches are we supposed to have? We're going to be having 12.5. So now what we want to do is we want to measure 6 inches each on each side, because as it stands we cannot get a measurement of 15 inches because we already have 2.5 here. I don't know how I'm supposed to divide the remaining half inches, or yeah, so I will just go with 14.5. That's still fair enough. So what I want to do is I want to measure from here, and I want to measure 6 inches here, and I'm going to put my stitch marker here. That is 6 inches there. This is where the collar is going to stop, and then on the other end, I also want to measure 6 inches from here. So and then this is it here. You grab your stitch marker and you want to insert it there. So now 6 plus 6 we have 12, plus 2.5 inches here we have 14.5. That is still fair enough. So you can decide to start anywhere. You can decide to start here or there depending on you, but I'll just start from here for easy access. So I'm going to insert my hook here where I place my stitch marker to begin with the polo. I'm just going to grab my yarn. So I'm going to grab my yarn and then make a slip knot just like this, and I'm going to insert it, and I'm going to chain up to 1, 2. So after chaining up, I'll just remove my stitch marker so I can be able to work effectively, and I'm just going to turn my work around, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch till I get to where my other stitch marker is. So 1 double crochet into every stitch till I get to where my stitch marker is, just like that. One double crochet into every stitch till I get to where my stitch marker is, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So guys, I'm at the corner where I just finished slip stitching. I decided to come and show you guys how to work that. So I just want to yarn over, and inside this mesh hole I'm going to make 2 double crochets there. So this is one, and inside that same hole I'm going to make 2 double crochets there, and then into the next mesh hole I'm going to make 2 double crochets there. 1, 2, and then inside the rest of the mesh holes I'm just going to work 2 double crochets there. 1, 2, and then I'm also going to work 2 double crochets there. 1, and then 2. So inside the other corner here where we slip stitch, I'm also going to be working 2 double crochets there. So this is 1, and then this is 2, and I'm just going to continue with 1 double crochet into all the stitches till I get to where my stitch marker is, and then I'm going to meet you guys there. So I already got to where my stitch marker was, and I already took off my stitch marker. So now we're going to be making the mesh stitches. So I just want to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn my work just like this. Yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, then chain up 1, yarn over, skip the next stitch, skip this stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, then chain up 1, yarn over, skip the stitch, go into the next with a double crochet. So you're just going to repeat this pattern till the end of this row, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. So I'm at the end of the row, and I just want to chain up 2, 1, 2, turn my work, and just like the way we've been working before, we're going to be making 2 double crochets into the mesh holes, and after we're done with the double crochet rows we're going to make mesh stitches. So for the collar, I don't know how long I want it to be, but I'm just going to be working the rest off camera till I get the certain amount of inches I want, and then I will come back to tell you guys how many inches I worked for. But for now you can just keep working 1 row of double crochet, 1 mesh row till you get to your desired collar length, or if I'm done with mine I will come back to tell you guys the amount of rows I worked for. So guys, this is what I have so far, and for the collar I ended up doing 4 rows of mesh rows and then 5 double crochet rows. So that is what I did over there, and then I just went on to align the buttons the way I want it to be. You can just align yours properly, and then we're going to grab our yarn and thread it. We're going to grab our needle, sorry, and thread it, and then I'm going to sew this. So after sewing this I'll come back to show you guys, and then we can start with the sleeve. But for the collar I went on to do 4 mesh rows, 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4, and then for the double crochet rows I did 5. So I'll meet you guys back when I'm done sewing. So I'm just going to then sew this side like this, and once I'm done sewing everything completely I will come back to show you guys. So if I'm done with the sewing, so we'll come back, then we'll go and do the trimming and the tying and cutting of iron. So I'll meet you guys once I am done. All right, so I'm done sewing, and then this is what we have so far, and this is what the second sleeve looks like. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trim off the excess yarn. I'm going to trim off all the excess yarn, and I'll come back to show you guys the end result. I'm going to show you guys the picture of what we've made so far. If you stayed with us to this present moment, I want to say a very big thank you. Please make sure to like and comment, and I hope you find this tutorial very helpful and useful. And if you have not hit the subscription button, please do it to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and bye. So guys, I'm done sewing, and I just came to show you guys what I've done so far. So I'm done joining the neck, and I'm done with the buttons and everything. So I decided to go on to make one of the sleeves, and I'll be back to show you guys how I did this. So we're going to make the other sleeve. So this is the wrong side, mind you, I haven't turned this over. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this particular sleeve. So Remember when we started, I told you the sleeve measurement I'm working with is 10 inches and the armhole is 20 inches. So now what you want to do is you want to make a chain of 20 inches because we are working with a armhole of 20 inches, and when we were leaving space by the side, the amount of inches we left here, do not forget, was 10 inches by this side, 10 inches on the other side. In total we have 20 inches. So now we're going to be making a chain of 20 inches. So make your slip knots and make a chain of 20 inches. So guys, I'm done with my 20 inches, and then this is what it looks like. So what I'm going to do for this row is I'm going to work one double crochet into every stitch to the end of this row. So you're just going to be working one double crochet into every stitch till you finish the end of this row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row because we're about to start the design of the shirt, just the mesh design. After this, one DC. So you just want to work one DC till you finish up the row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So guys, I'm done with the one row of double crochet, and this is what my project is looking like. So now we're about to start the rows of mesh, and you want to chain up 5 just like the way we do at the beginning. 1 2 3 4 and then 5. So turn your work just like this, yarn over, skip the first stitch into the next, make a double crochet, then chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next and make a double crochet. So we're going to follow up with this pattern till we end the row. Chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch into the next, make a double crochet, chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch into the next, make a double crochet, just like that. So now we're going to follow up with this till we end the row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm done with my rows of mesh stitches, and we're about to start the double crochet. So chain up 2, 1 2, turn your work, yarn over into this mesh hole, do 2 double crochet there just like we've been doing before, and then yarn over into the next mesh hole, 2 double crochet. So you're just going to be working 2 double crochets into the mesh holes till you finish up the row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Sorry about the noise. I'll meet you at the end of the row, and after this I'm just going to show you the mesh row one more time, and you're just going to follow up with the pattern till you have your desired length, and I'll meet you once you're done. But first off, let us finish this row of double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I'm done with the rows of one double crochet. So now we're going to be starting our mesh row, and what we're going to do is we're going to chain up 5 just like we'll do. So 1 2 3 4 5, turn our work just like we'll do. So I'm done with my 5 chains. So you're going to yarn over, skip this first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, and then chain up 1, yarn over, skip this first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, chain up 1, yarn over, skip the first stitch, go into the next with a double crochet, and you're just going to repeat this till you finish up the row. So let's check how many inches I have currently. So currently I have 2.5 inches. I have 2.5 inches, and I need a total of 10 inches. So I have 7.5 inches more to go. So I'm just going to repeat this row, and once I'm done, so you know, after your mesh row is your double crochet row, after your mesh row your double crochet row, you're just going to repeat it till you get to your desired length. And I told you at the beginning that I'm working with a length for the sleeve for 10 inches. So I have 2.5, so I have 7.5 more inches to finish up the length of the sleeve. And I told you that the armhole is 20 inches. That's why I made a chain of 20 inches, and then this is what we have. Now if you don't know how to measure your armhole, all you want to do is you place the tape rule around your arm. You are going to place the tape rule around your arm, and any measurement you have you're going to use. If you want it tight, you're going to use a tight measurement, but if you want it wide and free, you're going to do that. So I'm going to be working the rest off camera, and once I have my 10 inches complete, I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. So I'm done with my sleeve and I have 10 inches, so I'm fine with this. And what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to try to align it to the side of the shirts, but I'm going to make sure it's on the wrong side because you want to sew this on the wrong side, and you'll be needing some stitch markers for that. So you can have like 3 to 4 stitch markers to be able to do this. So let me get more stitch markers, and make sure when you are trying to align this side of your sleeve is on the wrong side. So this is my right side, so I want to turn it to the wrong side just like this. I'm so sorry about the noise. I'm seated by the window, so it's a bit lousy. So now after aligning this and turning, this is the right side and then this is the wrong side. I want to sew on the wrong side. So mind you, you have to be very, very conscious. I don't know if you can see this. You have to be very, very conscious of where this line is going to face. You don't want to go and face this line upward like this. Can you see? It's facing upward, whereas this line has to be under the armpit side, so you want it to be under the armhole. So you're just going to align it just like this. Make sure they are facing each other just like this. Now you are good to go. So you want to get your stitch marker, and this is how I sew my own. I don't know, use the method that works for you, but this is how I do mine. I just put my stitch marker and I just fix them towards each other just like this. Then I get another stitch marker, I place this in the middle here just like this. I don't know if you can see this. I place it in the middle here just like this. I align it with this. Then I get one more stitch marker for this side. Then I put it at the tip of the shirt just like this, so that when I'm sewing it doesn't come off. That is why I do this. If you are convenient sewing without putting your stitch marker, then you can as well sew without your stitch marker. So now I have aligned this first face. I have to turn it to the other side just like this, and after turning it to the other side just like this, I'm going to start sewing from this tip here. So I'm not going to put my stitch marker here, whereas I will just put it in the middle here and then just align it for easy access. Now after doing this, I'm going to thread my needle just like this. And I like to face my work towards this side, and then what you are going to do is you are just going to sew. So I'm actually going to be sewing offline. Just sew it the way you will sew your shirt on the norms. Just want to put it here just like this, and then you are just going to sew it. So I'm going to be sewing this off camera, and once I'm done sewing, I'm going to sew round. So this is how I'm going to sew it. I'm going to sew it from here like this. Once I get to this angle, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to continue here. I'm going to continue from here upward, coming till I'm downward here. And once I'm down here, then I'm going to align both of the sides together and I'm going to sew it. So once I'm done sewing everything,